I'm here, we finally get to Mark. I'm very excited to see exactly what this Mark person Can you see that? That is amazing.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining another episode of Property with Elton. Today I'm visiting the Bryanston area to talk a little bit about the area. So Bryanston is known as sort of for their leafy houses. They've got quite a huge, stand size, and equally, if you're looking for sort of a sectional title, you can get a sectional title in Bryanston. It will be a bit expensive though, but it's Bryanston and it's an affluent area, and as you know, you pay, for premium, because of the actual area itself. So what can you do in Bryanston? So Bryanston has an organic and nature market where you can purchase natural goods. And also you can buy handcrafts as well. There's also Josie X. So if you're an adventure enthusiast, this is the place for you, because it's a fully fledged sports center. And then they've got Cumberland, which is the bird sanctuary. And if you're big on birds and you want to spot different types of birds, this is definitely the place to be in Bryanston. Today we'll be seeing a business owner. His name is Mark de Govier. So I'll be chatting through to Mark. I will talk to him about his business, in fact his businesses. So a little bit about Mark. He's very, very passionate about what he does. He loves people, and he sees potential in individuals, and he basically pulls that potential out of them. He also is quite passionate in terms of making sure that people, push themselves. And his phrases, he sees opportunities and solutions. He does not focus on obstacles only, and he only sees reasons to grow. So I'm keen to have a chat with Mark. He's the owner of Kesasa Signs. One of their slogans is, if you can think it, they can create it or they can print it. So they actually did wallpaper for myself. Interesting to unpack the man behind the wallpaper. All right, so I did say that I would introduce you to somebody who's absolutely fantastic. So Mark, welcome to Property with Elton. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And I'm happy that you're here. Would you like to introduce yourself to the rest of South Africa?
Sure, thank you for having me. My name is Mark de Govier, and I own a few businesses, but the one that we're discussing mostly today is the wallpaper company.
Firstly, can you share with South Africa your journey? Why wallpaper? Can you give us some background on who Mark actually is, what inspired you to get into wallpaper, and then we'll take it from there.
Sure. I started with wallpaper about 3 years ago.
Right.
I initially started with signage, doing illuminated indoor and outdoor signs, vinyl on windows, doing branding for events. And the wallpaper process just kind of hit me at one point from a couple of requests.
Right.
And the response that we got from the clients and the illumination that we had from their emotions and obviously the space as well was just something that I felt internally and really like created a passion within me.
Right.
And from that point, I just started focusing on doing that, adding marketing on Facebook for more domestic residential applications, but we do commercial too.
Right.
However, it's just to go into someone's home and change a space for the better, seeing a kid's face light up. Yes, it is extremely rewarding to be able to do that to kids and adults alike.
Can we talk about this wallpaper? This is absolutely fantastic. From the time I walked in, I fell in love with the wallpaper, fell in love with the colors. Can you share the story behind this wallpaper? And also, can you share with us the other businesses that have spun off that you've now created as well?
Sure. So each space deserves a bit of thought and process behind it. You want to go into a space with an idea to get a feeling from that particular space. So we've got this here, we've got a couple of other wallpapers throughout this space. But for this particular space, I wanted something tranquil, something where you felt like you're walking into a space that's natural.
Yes.
And I believe that nature is probably one of the biggest healers.
Lovely.
So when you feel that, like that natural feeling inside you and that tranquil feeling, it also helps you and proliferates that healing energy that helps people kind of move forward.
That's fantastic.
And yeah, I mean, this wallpaper was, you know, we had a few options, and we always have to look at space and size. This is about 13, 14 meters long.
Right.
So obviously we've got to make sure that the quality of the wallpaper or of the image that we're using is the right quality. Yeah.
Can we talk about tips and tricks? So when a customer comes through and they place an order for wallpaper, I think one of the instructions to me was to ensure that the wall is smooth, to make sure that there's no rough edges, etc. I mean, that was just one. Can you share anything that we need to know before we even start placing orders with wallpaper? Do we need to have a concept, an idea? Can we pick anything, just a random picture? Can you share what we need to do before we even maybe come and consult with you?
Absolutely. So it is always best to install onto a smooth wall.
Right.
If your wall isn't smooth, or if it's face brick, you have to rhino light it. Yeah. I think on the rhino lighting side, on an absolute, it's face brick. You have to rhino light a face brick wall. We can get away with rough cast walls. However, we try steer clear of it, and if we do it on a rough cast wall, we unfortunately don't give a guarantee on it, on the joints and stuff, because unfortunately we don't have full control of it.
Got it.
You know, it becomes a little bit tricky with joins. When we're doing our wallpapers, there's an overlap that we print, a common overlap between strips, where we trim down the middle and remove the common space.
I've actually seen them do that. That's right.
It's quite a process. It's something that has to be practiced. So that is probably one of the biggest tricks when, you know, starting a business like this, to understand how to do the printing of it, and the artwork of it is pretty straightforward.
Sure.
But the application of it is definitely where the expertise are required.
Perfect. So one of the slogans on your website is anything you can think you can create, right? So can I get a picture of my family and we can have a portrait up on the wall with, you know, with a picture of, you know, their faces on my wall if I want to as wallpaper? Can that be done?
Absolutely. If the images are high enough quality.
Good quality. Yes.
And if they aren't, what we do is we just ask you to choose more.
There we go.
And then make a collage from it.
Fantastic. Mark, thank you so much. So, you know, can we venture off of wallpaper for a bit? Is it fine with you? Can
Absolutely.
we do that? All right. So South Africa, we're going to go off of wallpaper for a bit. And the reason why we're doing that is because I've spent some time with Mark now, and I know for a fact that he's got a few things up his sleeve. One of the things is capoeira. Can you please share what that journey's been like for you? Starting with one, now you've got about plus 80 individuals. Please share with South Africa what that has been like for you.
So ever since I was a little kid, I've always been interested in acrobatics, martial arts, and music. I tried a couple of different forms here and there, but nothing really took. And then a friend of mine introduced me to it, not because he was doing it, he just gave me the number and said try it out. I was looking for something fitness related because I was getting a little bit chubs. And I walked into this class and I watched these guys move, and I was like, oh my gosh, it is exactly like Eddie Gordo.
Eddie Gordo.
Since that day, 16 years ago,
you were hooked.
Absolutely fell in love. After 5 years, I started teaching.
Lovely.
And it's been 16 years of capoeira.
Well done. Fantastic. That's an amazing story to tell. But then you didn't stop there, right?
No.
You decided it's not enough. I need to take this one step further. And the one step further, you know, it's one thing to try and capture a person's mind in terms of imagination. And then you do capoeira, and then you capture the person's, you know, movements, etc. And now he's decided, you know what, enough with movements. Let me specifically hone on people's bodies. Talk to us about Thrive Labs. So what is that about?
So I think it's also interlinked with my capoeira.
Yeah.
So I've got quite a young girlfriend.
Yes.
And I also started capoeira quite late. I started when I was 20.
Yeah.
And I want to do capoeira for as long as possible.
Right.
became apparent to me that aging doesn't have to happen the way that we see it and what we've seen over the past hundreds of years.
Because we've been conditioned to a certain form in terms of what we do, from an aging perspective.
And our environmental stresses that we endure ages us way worse than we should be aging. Why I took interest in it is a way for me to be able to keep my body in a youthful state for as long as possible so that I can move and express myself creatively through my body, through my music, and through my teachings.
Fantastic.
And hopefully in that inspire other people to do the same. Here we have cold thermogenesis, which is basically cold submersion. We have 2 ice baths here, which are sitting at temperatures of 2 degrees and 7 degrees, just obviously for different difficulty levels. You stay in there for about between 3 and 10 minutes, depending on how long you actually can stay in. Some people only can stay in for like 20 seconds, especially in the beginning. But it has amazing benefits for your body, skin, immunity, and just general well-being. So we've also chosen a wallpaper that ties in obviously with the ice theme, the cold theme, just so you get the real effect of being in a cold space to make you feel at home in that icebox. Here we have our ozone sauna. So you sit inside this pod and it steams up ozonated water into the space, which opens your pores, makes you sweat, probably reaches about 50 to 60 degrees in there. And then we pump ozone air, which is O3, into the space here, and your body absorbs it through the skin. That helps you detox your entire body, mainly the skin. You get about 20% absorption and increases your oxygen saturation in your body, and also rid your body of toxins and heavy metals. Then we have something which is also very special. This is called a Joow Light. It's an infrared light. It gives spectrums of near infrared and far infrared, which assist the body's cells to create more mitochondria, better mitochondrial production, increase collagen throughout the entire body, reduce inflammation, increase skin health, increase energy production in the body as well. And we've also chosen to go with obviously a red theme for the red light. Let me just pop it on for you so you can see the power of this thing. And you just stand in front of here butt naked. Allow your body to absorb it through the skin, our biggest organ.
We've got people that have come out of COVID. Are you assisting any of those individuals, and how?
We are, and we've had amazing results. We've had quite a few people come through very recently. We've put them on a program over 5 days. The wives of the individuals, most of them have been male, the wives of the individuals have come to us saying that they brought them here thinking that these guys are on their way out.
Wow.
And after 5 days, these guys are full of energy, saying that they're like out of 10, I always ask them out of 10, and they say either 9 or 10.
Brilliant.
Energy fully back, appetite fully back, bouncing their step.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, it's just, and it's such a, I'm really grateful to be able to help people like that.
Thank you so much, Mark, for your time. I really appreciate you spending time with me. Thank you for sharing your story. It's an amazing story. What I'd like to say to the rest of South Africa is that if you've got a dream and if you've got a vision, you need to be the first one to take the lead, just like Mark has done. And what he's done is created an empire for himself. He started off with one specific item, and then from that one item, he moved over to the next thing and the next thing, and he gradually is growing a successful business, which is exactly what we all need to do as budding entrepreneurs and as business owners. So we did say we'll talk property with Elton. It's been fantastic talking to Mark. It's not just about property, it's also about the actual person behind the wallpaper. So now that you know that, what I'd like you to do is, if you are interested, the details are on the link below. All you need to do is click on the website and I will provide more information through to you. You can either come through to me or go directly through to Mark, and him and his team will be of assistance through to you. So thank you so much, South Africa, for tuning in. I really appreciate the time and the support, and you know what to do. You need to like, you need to share, you need to subscribe, and as always, be good, be safe, and be kind to others until we meet again. See you on the next episode.